when the time comes for a new game to play. There's just one place to turn at the end of the day. You never know what exciting game you'll see when you tune in to Board Game House on Twitch.tv. Find a game to back so you can be its owner. It's time once again for Derek's Kickstarter Corner.
Welcome to the Kickstarter Corner. Today, there are two brand new Kickstarters in Derek's Kickstarter Corner. This isn't working. I thought I'd be more professional. Alright. So, the first one, we talked about it last week. It is the fuck D6s. It's a D6, and on the one, it says a fuck. There you go. You can get sets of them. You can get 6 of these for $14. You can get 12 of them for $22. If you pay $100, you get a loot box, and it has a bunch of the D6s in it, but it also has full sets of dice, where it has just a regular set of black dice with white coloring. And on the D20, on the one it says fuck, and on the 20 it says yeah. There you go. Those are pretty cool. And then there's a glow-in-the-dark set that is identical. You also get a dice skull. Not 100% sure what that is. And you get one of each of the stickers they have in their Etsy shop. You can just visit the Etsy shop and get individual items if you like. It is called Severed Books on Etsy. The very white website that we just talked about a few minutes ago. But those are the fuck D6s. We talked about the D20s that they had when the Kickstarter Corner first started, and now they have the D6s, so that's pretty cool. Next is a game. It's an educational game. They're pushing it for educators and for like teachers and kids and stuff. It's called Berrymandering. Basically, it's a 2-player game where you have berries on top of a cake, strawberries and blueberries, and then you have to enlist the skills that you have in the American political process known as gerrymandering, where one person is going to divvy up the berries into groups of 4, and the other person is going to choose which of those groups they're going to eat, and then you get candles if you have the most berries in the eaten section of the cake. And then once all the berries have been eaten, whoever has the most candles wins. It's a very simple game, but it does teach you about gerrymandering, which is a very tedious and sort of difficult to understand process. It's also real stupid, but here you go. Here's a board game that makes it fun. You can pay $5 to get the print and play PDF version of the game, so you can pay a very small amount, print it out on paper, and you can play it immediately. Or you can pay $15 and get the whole game. So it's cheap, it's small. I think it's hilarious. I think it looks great. There are 4 days left on Berrymandering. Go check it out. All of the links to all of these Kickstarters are in our Discord, in the Derek's Kickstarter Corner channel, so you can go check them out there. Real simple, so you don't have to go searching for them. Next up is Tipping Point. This is another pseudo-educational game. It's basically a board game version of SimCity, where you are sort of building up a civilization, a town, with buildings and with industry and with civilians. And then once you've built it up, you have to get your city through some sort of extreme weather, just like SimCity. I don't think there's any Godzillas in this, but that was a great part of SimCity. But basically, this is a game that's sort of teaching you about climate change, about what sorts of things, like oil and coal and stuff, how burning those fossil fuels will get you an immediate result. It'll make you money in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to make the weather and the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere much worse, which is going to make the weather worse. But anyway, the first person to get 9 citizens into their town wins. But it is a process to get there because you're going to lose buildings, you're going to lose people as the weather comes through. You can do the print and play version of this for $10. Same thing as Berrymandering. You pay the $10, they send you a PDF, you can print it out, you can play it immediately. Or you can pay $31 for the full game. It's card-based, so it is a simple game. There's not a whole lot of components. There are 7 days left on this one. And again, I think that these fun educational games are very nice. I think it's very, very cool that people are putting them out there. Because I won't get into the but educational games, there you go. 7 days left for Tipping Point. Next up is a brand new one. It's called Voyage, Home, and Odyssey. This is it's a resource management and dice rolling game based on Homer's Odyssey. It's a great read if you've never read the Odyssey or the Iliad. But basically you're going through the story of the Odyssey. You can go to all those different islands and deal with the Cyclops and deal with all those islands, the Sirens and the Lotus Eaters and all that stuff. But you're sailing around ancient Greece in the Mediterranean, and you're trading with caravans, you're completing your challenging quests like the Cyclops, you're managing supplies and sailors and all kinds of stuff. And then eventually there's going to be a point where the phases shift, and it's basically a what do you call it? A shootout to see who can get back to Ithaca first, because then you're going to get bonus points, and then whoever has the most points based on the challenges you completed and the resources you have is going to win. It looks I think it looks very cool. I think that the art that they have for the map and for the cards is very interesting. I like it a lot. There's really basically only one option. This is part of the Make 100 that Kickstarter does. So they let like first-time creators put a Kickstarter through. So you have your campaign, but you only have to make, if it's a product, you only have to make 100 copies of it to be a success. And it makes it a very small goal. It makes it very achievable. They've already met their goal, so good for them. But the game is $53. It has 18 days left. Go check it out. There's nothing really frilly about this campaign. It's straight up the game. There's no deluxe version or anything like that. It looks pretty good. Has 18 days left. Voyage, Home, and Odyssey. Next up is Betwixt and Between. We talked about it last week. Everybody is going to play as a mystic. And basically you are dropped into the home of the spirits and the fae. You're going to get a lot of European folklore in here. You're going to collect tiles that are going to give you magic points, and those magic points let you upgrade your spell list and stuff like that. And then you can also trade in for exploration tokens, and you can make offerings that are going to get you points, in-game points. I think the art in this is very interesting. You can see the box right there. That's honestly, the art is what drew me into this game. The Kickstarter page doesn't give a whole lot of information, just at first glance, about the gameplay and stuff, or how like involved it is. But it did draw me in, so I brought it to the corner. You can get the base game for $52, and then you can get the game plus the art book. So they are very focused on the art for $59. So it only really adds $7 to the pledge if you want the art book as well. This one has 18 days left as well. And I just thought it looked interesting. And then finally, the last game in the Kickstarter corner for this week is a brand new one, started today. It's from Forbidden Games. These are the same people that made Railroad Rivals, Raccoon Tycoon, Extraordinary Adventures Pirates. Most of those you've seen us play on here. But it's called Dungeon Party. And if anyone is familiar with the drinking game Quarters, that's basically what this is. It's a role-playing, dexterity-based game where you're taking coins and you have to bounce them onto bar coasters. All of the cards components in this are bar coasters. They're that thick cardboard that you get when you go to Applebee's or whatever for you to put your glass on. And you're going to put a deck together of these bar coasters of rooms, monsters, and loot. And then as you go on through this stuff, you are cooperating. Everybody's cooperating to get through the dungeon, but only one person's going to win at the end, whoever has the most loot. So you're going to bounce your coins to defeat the monsters, to get through the rooms, and to collect loot. I think this is a very unique idea. I love it. I think the art is also fantastic. They have... It takes 30 to 60 minutes to play, so it depending on which dungeon configuration you want to go with, can make the game shorter or longer. It's for 1 to 6 players, so more than your typical game like this. And I love it. I think we have played every game that Forbidden Games has put out, and I love every single one of them. And I'm sure that this one is not going to be an exception. It's going to be just as good. I'm very excited to play it. For the Kickstarter, they have a value edition. The value edition is $19, and basically you're only going to get the coasters. There's the regular game, which is $39, comes with coins for you to bounce. But if you want to spend less, you can just get the value edition and play with quarters that you can get from a bank. But value edition $19, regular is $39, and then they also have the Kickstarter edition, which is more like a deluxe version that's going to come with some extra coasters, extra monsters, extra playable characters, and that's $59. So it's going to add $20 to that regular base price. I think it looks great. Definitely go check it out. The art that they have for the beholder in the game, I think is hilarious. I think it's super cool. If nothing else, just go check out the Kickstarter page to look at the art for this. I'm very excited for this. This one has, I think, it has 30 days left, so you have an entire month to back Dungeon Party. And it's already funded in less than a day, so there you go. Other people are excited about it too. Quick reminder that you can still late back to Honey Buzz. You can still late back to Bank Heist. We love both of those games. We've already gotten to play them both. And I don't know. Go check it out. All the links are in the Discord. This is going to be on YouTube.
When the time comes for a new game to play, there's just one place to turn at the end of the day. You never know what exciting game you'll see when you tune in to Board Game House on Twitch.tv. Find a game to back so you can be its owner. It's time once again for Derek's Kickstarter Corner.
If you enjoyed this Kickstarter Corner, join us live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/BoardGameHouse. Also, we're going to post them here, so hit that subscribe button below.